Alright, so we are live on a Wednesday morning. So I wanted to do this live stream before I did anything else today. I mean, I already got a couple videos uploaded. You probably may figure out what they are here really soon. There's one coming out at noon, so just it'll be about an hour and a half from now before the first video of the day comes out. Even though that's a pre-recorded video, this is the first live and hopefully the only live stream that I do today. I'm hoping to pre-record the pit stop show tonight with Wyatt, maybe Sean, possibly Zachary Taylor if he ends up joining in. I don't know what to expect for later today, but I'm also hoping that I can get the rest of my laundry done today. I'm hoping that I can get my arms and chest workout in today. I'm hoping I can do that. I'm hoping I can just get back into this rhythm that I was in earlier when I was working, from just working on my days off and also doing a lot of other things on my days off. That includes writing songs and music and all that stuff, because as I probably said in a previous live stream, I've gotten some ideas put down. It's just a matter of getting them, continuing on with those ideas and finishing them up. That's really all that I'm hoping to do. Anyways, so episode 16 of Grand Slam, man. All right, a lot of things to really talk about here. So this past Friday was the final ever SmackDown in the Thunderdome. We just, this past Monday, wrapped up with the final ever Monday Night Raw in a Thunderdome. So that's it. No more Thunderdome until maybe another 100 years down the road, or maybe whenever else they need it, depending on what happens. But you know, I mean, it's been a fun ride while it lasted. It's been nearly 500 days since WWE has been on the road with their main roster and making that first trip since early March of last year, making that first trip out of Florida to Texas, over in Houston for SmackDown, for for Money in the Bank, which is this Sunday, and also Raw, I believe, is also going to be in Houston. That will be fun. I mean, that will be a great thing to see for the first time since March, seeing a live crowd in an arena, full capacity. It's gonna be great to get back to that. I'm sure every single performer, every single behind the scenes talent, every single member of the camera crew, I believe even Vince McMahon is happy to get back on the road after being stuck in Florida, from the Performance Center to the Thunderdome. You know, it's great to see WWE finally get back on the road and finally reconnect and interact with the fans again. I think that's going to be a great thing. So one storyline in WWE that obviously is the most interesting one is this Edge Roman Reigns rivalry that has just gotten rejuvenated since Edge returned, I think a couple weeks ago. He's already got Roman. He already got Roman with I don't even know what that submission is called when you take a rod and you put it up against the mouth. I forgot what that submission was called, but he got Roman with it at WrestleMania, and he got Jimmy with it. He recently just got Jay with it, and this is and I was talking about this. I mean, a couple of weeks ago. That's the Edge that we should have seen win the Universal Championship, but, you know, per storyline, Roman retained. because, you know, you had Daniel Bryan and also Edge putting him over. But that, I mean, which catapulted Roman into such, I mean, such status. I mean, like, think about this. You've been in this business for been in WWE for about a decade. A little over a decade. And 8 to 9 years into your tenure with the main roster, you beat a superstar who's been in the main roster for on point 10 years, and you beat this veteran who has been in the main roster since 96, had to retire after a broken neck back in 2003 after 8 more years of competition, retires in 2011, and then 9 years later comes back in such great shape. Neck is in a better shape. He's in a better physique than what he was when he initially left. And just laying waste to everybody in sight. Gets a tricep injury at Backlash. Comes back after just making one tiny little appearance before SummerSlam. Winning the Royal Rumble again this year, which honestly to me that was the freaking coolest thing that I've ever seen. And then you put him away. You just basically put him away. But now I think this is gonna be a one-on-one match now. This most likely, and I'm really so desperately hoping that this is one-on-one now. That we're finally gonna see Edge versus Roman Reigns one-on-one, not with a third person involved, which I honestly kind of disagreed with this year's main event being a triple threat match. But you know what? Whatever. I mean, it's still delivered. It's still definitely was a favorite for the fans to watch. I mean, since that was the first WrestleMania, first live in the flesh WrestleMania since 2 years ago. So either way, I mean, you can't necessarily argue with what WWE was planning there. But yeah, so Money in the Bank this Sunday, the Universal Championship match. I mean, that's going to be interesting there. I mean, in that aspect, I think the Money in the Bank ladder matches between the men and the women is going to be good. I mean, all these matches I think are going to be great. It's just the fans usually don't feel connected, you know what I mean? I mean it's kind of hard to explain, but if you just go back and you just watch some wrestling clips, you probably may figure that out. Yeah, alright, so AEW stuff. Let's switch over to that. Last week was the first live show. I mean, first live show back on the road since March, since around the same time that WWE went to the Performance Center with no fans at all. Well, they went there initially for an NXT event, and then they just kind of stationed there for about 5 months. But AEW went over to Daly's place, and they kind of stayed there for over a year. But now they're back on the road, and for the first live AEW event, that was honestly a really good AEW Dynamite. And this I mean, I think the most interesting storyline, in my opinion, is this Kenny Omega run. This make this too good to be true 4 titles run. I mean, like, where he's got 4 titles. This dude's got 4 titles. And he's got so many, he just literally wraps them all around his body. He's got the AEW World Title. He's got the Impact World Title. I don't even know what those other 2 titles are. I don't know if they came from New Japan or anywhere else. But Still, he's got a lot of titles. The one that I think a lot of people are after, mostly, at least from what I'm seeing, is the AEW World Title. I mean, you've got, since Don Callis has said, Kenny's beat every single person on the main on this roster. Like, there's nobody to challenge, and then here comes Hangman. Here comes Hangman. Oh my gosh, Hangman Page. He is a sleeper. I think he's a sleeper. Hangman Page, man, he's a consistent wrestler, but man, oh man, has he just been that sleeper. You normally don't hear much about Hangman Adam Page, but once he comes out, oh my gosh, I think he's such a monster sleeper babyface. A monster sleeper babyface. This match has got to happen. I don't know when the next pay-per-view for AEW is, but I think Fyter Fest is coming up here really soon. I think Fyter Fest starts tomorrow night, I believe. But it's got to happen. That match has to happen. Hangman versus Omega for the AEW World Title. That's got to happen. And if anything, that could be the match that could end Omega's title reign. I mean, it'll be interesting to watch. I mean, that's definitely for sure. But you know, I mean, only time will tell. I mean, it depends on what storylines to kind of give us for AEW, possibly tomorrow night or anytime that this match happens. All right, but I guess that's gonna go ahead and do it for this episode of Grand Slam. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so and keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. I'll see you in the next one.